And joining me now is Congress senior MP from Punjab, Manish Tewari. Mohali comes under his constituency of Anandpur Sahib, and importantly also, Manish Tewari tragically lost his father to a killing by Khalistani terrorists in the 1980s. Manish Tewari, when you then read today about this attack in Mohali, where an intelligence headquarters of the Punjab police is targeted with a rocket-propelled grenade, what was your first thought? Did you sense the return of some kind of a more technology-driven terrorism, a much more dangerous form possibly targeting the Punjab police?
Well, Rajdeep, Mohali is a part of my parliamentary constituency, and at that particular point in time, we were just 2 kilometers from where this unfortunate and dastardly attack took place. I was condoling the death of a senior Congress colleague of mine, but yes, you're absolutely correct. What has happened is extremely worrisome. The choice of the weaponry which has been used, a rocket-propelled grenade, this obviously means that there is some surplus capacity which seems to have been freed up in Afghanistan, which is now finding its way to Jammu and Kashmir and Punjab. So therefore, in many senses of the word, this could in fact be an inflection point, because let's also not forget that for the last almost 3 years, I think 2018, 2019 onwards, there have been repeated drone intrusions from across the border, drones carrying weaponry, narcotics, grenades, small armaments, AK-47s, AK-56s. And for every one drone which may have been interdicted by the Punjab police or the border security force, there are many more which could have got through. So I think, and it's my considered submission both to the government of India and the government of Punjab that this is an issue which should not be politicized. The security of Punjab concerns the security of the nation, and therefore both the government of Punjab and the government of India need to work closely to proscribe this and nip it in the bud.
No, you're saying it should not be politicized, but that's exactly what is happening. There are voices in Delhi and Punjab, both from the BJP and Congress, who are raising questions about the Aam Aadmi Party government which has just come to power, suggesting almost that these attacks are linked to the fact there is a new government led by a debutant chief minister who may not be as experienced in handling security issues. Do you draw a connection in that manner, or do you believe it's fair to draw a connection in that manner?
Well, Rajdeep, if someone is saying that, it is most unfortunate and it should not be done. However, having said that, the fact that we have a new government, and obviously it's a new political force which has emerged in Punjab, our not so friendly neighbor across the border may be trying to test the red lines of this government. And to that extent, what unfortunately has been happening over the past month or so, ever since this government has come into office, could be really an attempt to test their red lines. But then, if you are going to peg it at their door and say, oh, this is the problem of the Aam Aadmi Party, let's not forget that when Punjab gets imperiled, the entire nation gets consumed. So therefore, this finger pointing does not really help anybody. This is the time when everybody needs to come together, and this siloized approach in our national security calculus needs to be broken, because if you rewind back, you will find that every major terror attack which has succeeded in India, there was always intelligence. It's just that the intelligence never got shared, primarily because somebody thought it was his turf and decided not to disseminate it. So under these circumstances, I think this is a wake-up call. It's providence that that grenade did not explode and no major damage took place. But we would be absolutely naive and foolish if we do not see it as a clear message from those who want to disturb the peace of Punjab that we are here and we are ready to walk the extra mile in order to carry out our nefarious designs.
Just one final question. Remember, during the Punjab election campaign, Manish Tewari, former Chief Minister of the Congress, Captain Amrinder Singh, spoke about increased drone attacks from across the border in Pakistan. Intelligence reports suggesting now that ISI has formed a terror group called Lashkar-e-Khalsa. A group called Sikhs for Justice has taken responsibility for the attack, claiming Khalistani links. Do you see a a wider, deeper conspiracy here, or is this a one-off?
Well, I am not privy to what intelligence inputs the government of Punjab has, or what intelligence inputs have been passed on by the government of India to the government of Punjab. But, you know, Captain Amrinder Singh is someone who has a very serious scholarly interest in issues of national security. And as Chief Minister of Punjab, he repeatedly kept warning both the central government as well as tightening up the police apparatus in Punjab in order to ensure that the peace and tranquility is maintained. And, you know, we face a constant challenge from across the border. And as they say, eternal vigil is the price of liberty, and eternal vigil, that is the price that you have to pay in Punjab to keep the state peaceful.
Manish Tewari, appreciate your joining us. Good to see a politician who's not playing politics with national security. That's all too rare in this country. This is an issue where the centre and the state need to work together. Punjab, border state, needs a new form of a federal compact in a way between state and centre when it comes to fighting terror.